on We the Nation Radio here on Urban Nation Radio. I am Kelly Greene. I'm your host and will be your host every Tuesday right here at 7 o'clock. Also, you follow my blog at hollaifyouhearme.com. And trust me, I'm going to blog about this very subject. So be looking out tomorrow. The blog be titled Enough. Enough. That'll be the blog title. So tomorrow morning, looking for it. You follow me on Twitter at KellyGLive72. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to post a blog. It'll be on my Twitter account tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. You want to read this. Take it all in. Because this killing black teens has got to stop. We have to put our foot down and say, hey, you know what? I understand you're trying to serve and protect. I understand you have a job to do. But that job does not include killing people before they had due process. Especially since it's only black people that you're killing. That's just far and away the most grievous of all. Also, I talked a little bit about the militarization of the police force, and I spoke about Bill Maher. We actually found that piece, so I'm going to play the piece, and then I'll come right back to you. We're going to talk more about militarization. I'm going to get some more into the Michael Brown situation in Ferguson, and I'll be right back to you. Back to We Nation. I know you probably just sit and watch the whole Bill Maher piece. I wanted to show that piece because it exemplifies exactly what I've been trying to talk about. Watch that piece. He did that about 4 weeks ago. That was before the Michael Brown incident. Before. And he did that. So just think how much now that really resonates. Also, we have our guest here, the Caesar Torreano. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, how you doing, bro?
Wading in the water out there, huh?
Yeah, surfing.
Yeah, that's the surfing. That's for sure. See, I want to bring you on today because we hang out 90's Cafe right down the street here.
Mm-hmm.
And you did the poem, The Demolition Man. Yeah. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, everybody needs to hear that.
Yes.
What brought that on?
Well, actually, that poem started about right around the Trayvon Martin. And, you know, with me, with everything that goes on with white, you know, with society, we as black people in white society, it's like they deem us expendable. You know what I'm talking about? So it's okay for a man to sit up there and shoot a man, just outright kill him, completely out of his boundaries and stuff like that, and then turn around and not only get away with it, but taunting, talking about, hey, I'm going to do a show, a celebrity fight show, and I'm going to do this and do that and that. Then on the messed up part, he's actually getting supported by other people secretly. Wow. So one thing is I was always taught, if you're angry about something, write a poem. So I wrote that poem, Demolition Man. It's a play off the movie Demolition Man, you know, the one.
That's a great movie. I like that movie, though.
You know, and about how we, you know, that, and then when this thing happened with Mike Brown, John Crawford, Mike Brown, and all this stuff.
Right.
You know, as a poet don't finish a poem until they die. So I wound up constructing it even more because it was on the same premise, but I needed to put more emphasis on what's going on here. Yeah. And that's what brought me to that poem, Demolition Man, and it evolved into what you heard Thursday.
Wow, what I heard Thursday was massive. And sometimes, you know, you hear someone a poem and it really kind of gets you, and it carries you from that day. But those great poems, you think about it a week later. And every time you see the situation play out somewhere else, it comes right back to mind. It just comes back. And I was thinking, like, everybody needs to hear Demolition Man. So when they see the Michael Brown, they look on the news and they see how they're trying to make Michael Brown the villain. Listen to this.
They trying.
Oh, they trying hard. And it's amazing because how can you go from, I shot this kid 6 times in one head, till he stole cigarillos?
I don't care if he smacked Michelle Obama. Right. That do not justify
it doesn't.
that force of what happened But this is what happens in society right now. What you're hearing now is PR at work. They start planting divisions. Right. So therefore, oh, he stole this and oh, he stole that. So it plants a thought to where you have some of the, the people, white suburban, white hitters. Oh, well, he was probably a thug. He probably had that coming. They're just trying to plant those little tiny seeds. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. Oh, well, this and, feeding the other people. And that's what it's all about. Racism still exists in this country. Exactly. And the bad problem we have as a people, we have a bad memory.
Wow.
We have a bad memory. And if we came together and really took steps towards these, make our police, make our service people be accountable for these acts.
Right.
On down from our city to anybody's city to where it's like, okay, come together, but that is a big problem. So that poem, Demolition Man, is just pretty much the rage of a person looking out, brother looking out saying, look, enough is enough. So that's what that poem.
I heard that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to see Torreano and Demolition Man. We're back on We the Nation Radio. I'm your host, Kelly Greene. Right now, we're going to have Caesar Torreano performing Demolition Man.
You will no longer be our Demolition Man. Trying to murder death killers as a whole as fast as you fucking can. Then you got the gall, the alibi, hide behind your racial profile and stand your ground laws. Declaring open season for trigger squeezing on the black clan. You will move your bullseye from the back of me. For I know that your president bigoted nature, dream wet lynching dreams, fiending to murk a brother like getting calls from a rocks coming from a crack fiend. You want a 50-shot shine bell me. Rock the king and Malice Green mangle me. Nat Turner and Emmett Till dangle me, then Troy Davidson convict, then flick that switch on me. Fuck your wrecking ball and all the racially swings and stands for. Try to shoot 'em up, bang, bang, black bucks, have me in an intense uproar. For now, I'm a raging black Katrina Reuben Carter hurricane. A 1968 headshot at the Lorraine Hotel, get your hand out of my pocket, government conspiracy runaway train. A James Burrow ride, Mike Brown unarmed, Rosewood genocide, dropping bombs over Philadelphia and Tucson, Tuskegee experiencing mad outrage. Watching the media mass that malice in the maze of a PR campaign, hyperdrive my already heightened hypertension. I have undiluted anger coursing through my veins. Our president may be educated, strong, and black, but to you he just your jangle tightly fast in your chains. I'm the justice of Mike Brown, John Crawford, and Trayvon Martin, but you deem me as your Simon Phoenix. A dilapidated Nubian structure that you want to turn against one another, but the flame of everyday existence you want to extinguish. For you fear the reaping of our ancestral blaze. This is the rage of a black man that's sick and tired of being your nigga. Disrespect in every human aspect, nigga. You're shooting target practice in the name of a neighborhood watch and overzealous cop. 2 Chain, I'm different, LA Clipper, Sambo, Real House nigga, reality show nigga. Disgrace, spit in my face. Target's always in the right place, nigga. It isn't your tradition to try to murder us. That's why you heartlessly pulled the trigger. Even the gun range is designed to destroy us. Why you think the shooting targets is shaped in black figure? Swing, wrecking ball, swing, bullseye nigga. It is time to awaken the dry bones. Stop letting racist society chew their teeth and pick their teeth with us. Stand the ground and uphold our own Demolition Man. Trying to murder death killers as a whole is all a part of your master plan. Want to see us dead, diseased, beaten, shot, and poor. You will stop killing my brothers and sisters. We're going to stand what we stand for. Or brace yourself for a Cairo uprising, black power style. Like it was Ferguson style. Knocking at your suburban door. Death to you, Demolition Man. Peace.
Appreciate it, man. Oh. I can hear it over it and over it and over it and over again.
Thank you, man.
I can catch your water here. Just I know you probably that was fire came out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for that.
For everybody who just watched this Masterful Poet throw down right quick, do not be surprised if you hear that same poem 30 years from now. If that poem is not a type of something we study in a literary class, Black History class, 30 years from now, this point will come up. So just remember, you heard it here first on Urban Nation Radio. Some people have heard it before, last week at 90 Shots Cafe. But, brother, I appreciate those words. I mean, we all need to hear that.
Man, thank you for hearing, man. I thank y'all for receiving them, man. I really do.
So, what's your opinion right now of where we're going as a Black community? How is this going to shape us? Is this going to break us? Is this going to strengthen us? Or in your mind, what's going to happen?
Either we're going to wake up or stay asleep into a coma. The sad thing about it is, how I look at it is, I love my Black people. I love my working hard, try to work hard, try to succeed, even they fought short Black people. But as the famous Chris Rock says, we have an endless civil war in our community.
That's
and
true.
the bad one of that bad caliber. I say ninjas.
Yeah, that's the opposite of ninjas, because they do it quietly.
And there's ninjas of all race.
Yep.
And the problem is that we have no togetherness, and we get exploited with that constantly. I've sat up there and worked for, I think I one time working for a surveillance company installing surveillance cameras for a company, and it was Arabic. And I'm going from owners of gas stations from in the hood on down to gas stations out in the burbs. And I just see the exploitation right before my eyes.
Absolutely.
Out there's more respectable things at our suburb gas stations and our gas station.
Right.
They explored what? Weed scale? What do we need to scale? Weed scales?
Exactly.
Cigarettos, Lucy's, and all that. You couldn't sell a Lucy on the bird.
No, you can't.
And people take advantage of our division, even down to the police. Even down there, until we get to the point where we start coming together. Coming together with the money.
Right.
Learning to keep spending within ourselves, you know.
Right.
Like they said, the Jewish dollar goes around 12 times before it goes outside of that circle.
Right.
We'll be lucky for our stuff to go one time around.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like just the big core of the problem. Coming together, being awareness, bring back the neighborhood watch, we grow the village. It all plays, in my opinion, it all plays as a whole. So
Exactly.
that's my opinion.
Exactly. That, before you came on, I talked a little bit about Black leadership. And I think that in this, especially times like we have Ferguson, especially through the Renisha McBride case we had here, a lot of people came together. There's a lot of protests, but there was no one clear leader. Somebody said, look, we're going to take this, we're going to kind of ride it. You know, we're going to keep the pressure on. Who can we lean on, as a leader? Or, in your opinion, who would that leader have to be?
The leaders will have to be is, I'll say it like this. The head over your homes there is are the leaders.
All right.
To find a figurative right now to come up to rally the people again. Like, to my opinion, there'll never be another Martin Luther King. There'll never be another Malcolm X. There'll never be another Marcus Garvey that came around that actually made a point. Right now, not only that, it's just too much now, even the way that we are within the government would even allow it. Literally, to a degree. The only way that we can solve this within ourselves. There's no more big village in the neighborhood. We have to be our own village. Right. We have to turn around, raise our children to focus, raise them to be correctly, teach them to believe in themselves, love themselves. Stop letting the TV raise them. We raise them. Then find like-minded families and connect that way and grow slowly underneath the radar until we get to that point. That is my belief. There's not going to be one person that's going to jump out on the soapbox in the middle of Mac and B with and say,
hey, for all you who don't live in Detroit, who listen in other cities, Mac and B is close to a corner of hill as you can get it.
Davis and Dexter got him right now. That's what I'm Dexter and Davidson caught him.
Well, that would be another one. So just, if you come to Detroit, Mac and Bewick, Dexter Davidson, stay completely away from.
Just run the stoplight. Right.
Oh, man. I'm going to get beaten over that one.
They're going to give me, I'll run the one over Dexter. I'm going to play.
Yeah, Hey, I'm glad we come to the man on the soapbox because I spoke to the audience earlier about how do you, I might ask you just flat out. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Al Sharpton?
Activist and pimp come together.
Ooh, I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking that.
Activist pimp. I mean, like there's one show that I love, just exposed it. And, the Boondocks, it just completely.
No episode.
Oh my God. They got 3 that was priceless. 3 that was priceless. The problem is, that's what I meant by there will never be another person of speak of true. That's going to be true, that's going to be untainted, unfiltered.
Right.
That's going to be like there was. That part is going to, especially with technology and the way that we're hooked on social media and TV, you can have a man, you can pretty much have God say, okay, I'm about to send my second son, the Savior, here on this world. Bam. And he's going to be completely clear of sin in all kinds and every way. Social media, with the way it is, if it's not going to where they're going to what the powers that be, will have that man crucified no better than the Philistines did. No more, Pharisees did. No better than that. It will find a way. You see how now, like, Bill Cosby,
right?
He says a lot of abrupt statements. But because he was saying some stuff that was true about how women are raising their children and how this and that,
right.
Next thing you know, they're coming down there, and the next you know, it was a rape allegation. And all of a sudden, faded off the radar. Even Jim Brown, they talk about all the work Jim Brown did. The only thing that people relate to Jim Brown is how he attempted to try to throw a girl out a window. Not thinking about all the struggles and stuff he have done, where he met out there, reached out with gangs, sit up there, try to reach out and help people and stuff of that nature. Those things right there, that's just the power of the media. Wow. Power of that TMZ, all that garbage.
TMZ is kind of funny, but it's one thing about it, like, in TMZ's defense, when Donald Sterling came out and said those comments,
right.
TMZ was the first ones to break it.
Right, they broke it. They're going to break it. They're going to throw a bone. Anything that's entertainment, they're going to throw the bone.
Right.
But I also see how they turn their agenda to it. It's not just TMZ, it's just a media as a whole. I'll be like one time, why is they out here harassing this actor and these actors around here? Now these stuff is getting away with bloody murder, these performers and singers and stuff like that. You see Chris Brown, how many times he got to whip up on Rihanna before he finally get locked up? How many times got like Justin Bieber's, all this stuff like that? Right. It's just...
It's crazy, I understand. But we get all this, but when you have such situations like Ferguson...
Yeah.
And I want to kind of like piece it together to where maybe we get a Jay-Z out, we get somebody who is considered top black money earner, can be the next. I wouldn't say the next, Martin King, Martin Yard, but the next leader. Somebody come out and say, you know what?
The most impressed thing I've seen Hollywood in the history of it did is when Kanye did what he did at the Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
And you see how he's portrayed now. And he is a little baddie too. Hollywood didn't got to him.
Everybody. Nobody's immune.
Hollywood didn't got to him. But it's like, I would want somebody to be able to stand up and come together and bring us together. And I would want us to believe in this person enough if he's right in every angle, not to be swayed by social media, not to be swayed by their fears, not to be swayed by their own inner demons of thinking somebody's going to fail or they've been failed this way. We could just come together. Ferguson came together in a violent way, but they came together like enough is enough. And now they are so down here that they out there got them completely restricted down there.
Yeah, it's a police state now. It's I played a lot of people who say, I played the Bill Maher tape. He already said, and Bill Maher said this before the Michael Brown case even came out, before Michael Brown was shot. And I had about the, what's this, the 1033 program where the cops, they get their equipment from the military. Mm-hmm. The military equipment they no longer use, they want too many bazookas, one too many F-16s, the police get them. Different, so that kind of says something right there.
Right. Bill Maher is pretty much a straight shooter. Even though he takes an asshole approach on something, but he's pretty much straight shooter. He don't pull no punches on it.
Right.
He don't pull no. But even to the point is that until we get to the point where we stand up, and I think white America feel that standing up in the form of revolution, like we about to walk around here with doggone beanie hats on and stuff like that, with bottle ready to test up. I'm talking about the revolution of the mind, where we come together as one. Put down all this, put down the ignorance, put down this, I need to be a thug, put this, and just start using the strongest muscle of all, this.
Right.
Along with a heavy help and a common sense flowing through this. A lot of this stuff can be avoided. A lot of the stuff, look what the freedom riders did, the work that they did, the freedom riders did. When back then, they went through so much out of their way not to get violent, so much to make they stand to move to the nation. They rewrote how things was done in this country. What I'm saying is that I'm not telling us to go through what the tape, but whoopings and stuff like that, but the whole mindset that they had, their whole approach. Let's give an approach and focus on our children. Let's focus on getting them in school.
Let's be mentally stronger.
Let's leave dollar shot night alone.
I agree. Dollar shot night. Let's do dollar book. Let's do dollar book night.
I would like to do that.
Dollar book night. If you got Kindle Fire, find a dollar book, buy it, read it. Let's leave dollar shot night alone. Let's get educated here. Yeah. So, where can we find you at?
Oh yeah, I host every Thursday night at Nandi's Knowledge Cafe.
And trust me, going out Nandi's Cafe on Thursday, 9 times out of 10 you might see me and this cat, sitting kicking it, because this kind of stimulation of a lot of conversations we've had,
Yeah, and here's the thing about it: it's a pillar of art in the Highland Park, city of Highland Park, and in there it's an African bookstore.
Yeah.
And in there you can find any books. Like every time I stress when I do my open mic, please invest in a book.
Right.
They got books that only cost 50 cents to $1. Buy a book. We perform out of our gallery. We go from 9 to 12 every Thursday night. We're located at 12511 Woodward off of Glendale. That's 1/4 mile south of the Davidson Freeway. So.
Let me write that down. So I'm gonna be tweeting that later. So what's the address again?
12511 Woodward off Glendale in Highland Park. It's a safe space. It's the same, they'll treat it as sacred ground. Right. So you don't need to worry. It's the good part of Highland Park. Don't be scared. But it's good people there, good poetry.
Yes, it is.
We just have a great time, and that's what it's about. Enjoying poetry, enjoying all art. Whether you do poetry, whether you sing, whether you comedy. We even had one guy, I say this often on, we even had one guy came in and read a children's book. Really? And murdered it completely.
Wow, and I hate I missed that one. I probably would love that.
So all expression is welcome.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Appreciate you coming out on the rainy day, even though you didn't drown in that.
I appreciate it. I was quick out of that rain. I'm big, but I'm quick.
All right. And, another thing about this whole situation, this situation is far from over.
Very far from over.
And I kind of fear that if this goes bad, and it could go bad.
Yeah, it could.
And trust me, this is not set in stone. We got the guy, we got him, he murdered, and he's going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. No, that's not. They're spinning. Matter of fact, I watched CNN today, and they was talking about the officer told a girl about what happened. He told her, Mike went for my gun. Totally spun the whole story. Mm-hmm. She called a radio station and gave that radio station that same story, and they broadcast it. So right there, they tainted the whole jury pool possible.
Of course. It's called the fix.
Man, see, it's a dirty game out here, people. Dirty game.
And they're trying to take it. They're going to take that trial out of Ferguson.
You have to.
They're going to take it out of there. And what's going to happen is that this is where the manipulation began. You know, talking about this is where you about to start hearing all types of things what Mike Brown done down to where he even didn't say thank you for the lunch he got at school. You're gonna hear all kinds of typhoonery coming up, and then all that is just slowly programming what's already there, what's already how we view it as.
Right.
You know, you have some good people that's of white descent that sees through the bullshit of what goes on in our country.
Right.
And that's willing to help. They see it.
Right.
But you got ones that just need to feel within, that want to feel justified in their stereotypes, feel justified. If you really want to see true racism, or if racism resides, if you really want to see how some people think of us, go to YouTube. Pick one of the most, not one of the most, but one of the most ratchet videos you can see. Ratchet, I mean just ghetto, could be two kids fighting. If it got like it got about 500,000 hits, read down those comment bars. Read, one time I did it 3-4 times. If I see one, just to give myself a reminder, I will read, and there's some of the stuff that I read, and I'm like, and it's just ain't one. I mean, it's like, like that thing that happened with the boy in Cass Tech, that quarterback that slammed that man, even though they said the cop was harassing him, and true enough, he should have snapped and did that. Man, the stuff, look at it, this is why this monkey need to be locked away forever. I mean, stuff like that, like, whew.
I tell you what, though. Look at, click on Detroit or Freak. Go to their comment section, and this is local. This is, I mean, and you go through those comments one by one. I'm for a minute I thought I was down south because of how just the whole rhetoric that was going down those comments, and I'm like, this is not real.
I have more respect for down south racists than up north one. So my father says I really wasn't able to absorb it till later in life. He said, down south racist gonna tell you to your face, you are the nigga. I don't trust you. Stay away from my daughter. Stay away from my family. We work together. Don't even breathe in my direction when I'm eating. They'll let you know where it's coming from. But these up north racists that you did right here will sit up there, smile within your face, act like, oh, whatever, oh, okay, no problem, stuff like that. And when your back is turned, they're doing everything they can to set up your own demise. Anything.
Yeah.
I'd rather for somebody to announce me as your enemy to your face than somebody trying to work their magic, racist magic behind closed doors. So that's my thing. But it's if you ever just want to see how deep it goes, go read those comments up and down, and you'll be just like, a WTF will pop up right in front of your head as you return.